You're welcome back to the show. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, the president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyantakyi, is in the grips of the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service. He's currently being interrogated by the police following a complaint made by the president. And here is a statement that the police sent earlier. I'm going to read through that statement to you. It says the police has issued... Well, it's the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service is investigating Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, president of the Football Association, for alleged offences, including corruption. Number 2, this follows a complaint received from His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, that Mr. Nyantakyi has used the president's name and office fraudulently. And the statement goes on to say that the police information shows that the suspect is presently outside the jurisdiction and is expected to return on Wednesday, which is today, whereupon he will be required to assist with the ongoing investigations, which is why, as I indicated earlier, he's been picked up at the airport a few hours ago. Number 4, the statement says that further, the police is assuring the public that due processes will be followed in this investigation. The police is also asking any persons with relevant information may submit such information to the police CID headquarters, and it is signed by DCOP Sheila Kese Abeye Bachman there. So you have the police lining up their plans or their action plans there. What they are going to do first is to pick him up when he returns to the country from Morocco and continue with the investigation whilst they ask you if you have any information to volunteer such. He's been picked up. On the ground is Parker Wilson. He's got the latest update. He joins me. Parker, what is happening where you are now?
Well, Gifty, we are still here waiting for the interrogation to be over. Okay. And then we asked the CID, because, I mean, they told us that they were going to brief us right after the interrogation is done. So we are waiting for them to tell us what really transpired, what were some of the things they picked up or found out from Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi and his lawyers. Okay. And again, we do understand that the lawyers are trying to secure a bail for him right after the interrogation. We don't know whether he'll be successful or not, but after the interrogation, which I am told that they are wrapping up, and so probably in the next 30 minutes they'll be done with the interrogation, and then we'll find out the outcome of everything that happened after the meeting.
Paka, did you see him when he arrived today?
In fact, I managed to see him briefly, and that was when he was picked up from one office and was going into the interrogation, that's the conference room. I managed to see him, and he was actually in a blue suit. And if you know Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi very well, Gifty, you'll agree with me that almost all the time he has a smiling face. And so his facial expression, his demeanor, his composure was very calm, as he even tried to even wave a police officer that he saw with his smiling face. So clearly, judging from afar, one can easily say that he looked very calm and very composed.
Who was with him? Was he alone?
Come again.
Who was with him when he arrived? Was he alone?
Yes. In fact, he came with the lawyer Thaddeus. Sorry. Now, what happened was that when the police picked him up from the airport, in fact, the lawyer was waiting for him at the VIP. But unfortunately, the police picked him up right from the tarmac, and then they drove him. And then they hinted the lawyer that they have already sent Kwesi Nyantakyi to the CID office, so he has to rush here and meet them here. And so at the time, they met here and then they to the office where the interrogation started.
Can you explain, I mean, describe to us, if you did see, I beg your pardon, how the police CID personnel who were there handled him? I mean, how did they get him to go
in fact, when they brought him in initially, we didn't have the opportunity to see him, but as I mentioned, when he was moved from one office to another, it was just one policeman, and we had a police present, police premise of the office here. And so it was leading them, it was leading Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi and the lawyer through the conference. So it wasn't even handled by police, I was following the police.
Okay. Well, Parker, we'll come back to you. Should the interrogation end any time from now, so we can get the very latest on what they've been talking about. Hopefully we'll get a statement perhaps from the police on this. Thank you so much, Parker. Kwesi Parker Wilson there, he's monitoring, he's on the ground for us, monitoring the interrogation of Mr. Nyantakyi there. We'll be getting back to him for any more information. But earlier in the day, editor-in-chief of the New Crusading Guide, who is also a member of the Tiger Eye investigation team, Kweku Bako, expressed disappointment on the decision taken by the presidency to organize that press conference yesterday. According to him, there was a breach of confidentiality between the presidency and the Tiger Eye team, including the BBC, which is also a part of the investigation team.
Again, on your exclusively Tiger Eye project, or a Tiger Eye BBC joint project. And the scope and coverage goes beyond Ghana. Indeed, the little challenge I may war with what happened yesterday is the fact that, for instance, BBC who are part of this project were not aware that anything of this sort was going to happen in terms of presidential reaction.
Okay.
Tiger Eye also were not aware. And I've actually complained to those who organized the event that at least I should have been told that this event was coming up and why. And there's a reason. Because necessarily, once Kwesi Nyantakyi, and I can comfortably mention his name after establishing the premise, had mentioned the president, the vice president, and had been attempting to solicit monies, claiming that there was no way Tiger Eye and BBC were going to put out that thing without getting the side of the president and the vice. My brother tried to put it in the context of natural justice, and it makes sense. It's true. Yeah. In terms of our ethics too, also is compelling that you get their side of the story.
Let me ask something.
Sure.
Talking about natural justice, did they take the video or the evidence they had, did they confront Nyantakyi with it?
They didn't have to.
No, I didn't say did they have to.
No.
Did they?
Because I was going to deal with that. They didn't have to.
Okay,
it's like the judges. I was coming there.
Okay, and
let me build the case one by one.
Okay.
There.
Because I can't natural justice is not
right. I will not know. You are the one who subject captured.
That's right. Yeah.
In the act, talking and even giving your bank accounts and things to the people and all the rest.
My bank account, sir.
Yes. You hear all that. The president and the vice president were given the opportunity to watch only the portion that concerned them, or a few minutes, because we were looking for the substantive issue. What the president watched is not more than 5 minutes. What the vice president watched, not more than 3 minutes. Meanwhile, this documentary is about 2 hours. That hundreds of people in there. None of them was talking about the president. It's a referee BG bribing in order to fix a matter. Does it concern the president? So I protested. I protested at the event that happened yesterday. And I gave reasons why I protested. And indeed, my protest has been communicated to the president himself. But they hit back.
That is Kweku Bako there, not the least amused about that press conference organized by the presidency yesterday. He was actually speaking earlier on Peace FM's Kokroko with Kwame Sefa Kai.